economy class to improve, and you can buy small, that also reimbursement will be there. Then you are taking your goods from here to particular country, ferry charge will be reimbursed. But first, if you want to apply for these schemes, you have to have the autonomy registration license. Without this, you cannot register in these schemes. All the MSME schemes, main starting is the autonomy registration. Earlier it was the Autonomy registration. Now it is become an autonomy registration. This autonomy registration is linked with the database. It links with the bank. It links with the income tax return. It links with the GST. I have seen once entrepreneur. He was earlier GST number, and he closed down his GST number. Again, you want to apply loan, but once you delete your registration, it will create problem for you. And if you lose your mobile also, it will create problem for you because digital system are covered here, and you have to return your income tax even if it is zero also, quarterly everything. GST also you can submit zero if you are not coming within the liability of tax 50 CR below is or 50 lakhs below is there are guidelines are there. So we have to register this digitalized, then only we can do business very smoothly. To get a loan also it is not a problem. And this scheme, there are ritual mode also, exhibition, seminar, everything international organization you can organize, state government also can organize virtually also. For that purpose, we need industry people, association also have to have autonomy registration, PAN card, GST, everything, because to settle the bills, all these things are required. You see, I am assuming there is one organization in Faridabad which was headed by the Rajiv Chawla. When I was in Delhi working, MSME there in New Delhi, I met him. That time they are heading a Faridabad Small Industry Association. And we organized one small winter development program. I spent 5,000 only for organizing this one, and I told the association member, you arrange 50 in that meeting. And we invited here all the members, association member, and I invited from the railway, IUC, Army, Defense, and Delhi Electricity Board. They are the buyer, and the association member is the sealer. And that small function we have completed. And one of the president of that association, he got 1 CR contract after this program. See, thing is, financial limits is the interactions where you will find the buyer. Where government department or ICC can brought the people here to interact with the buyer and seller. So a citizen who are having an industry, they can get the market, and that will push your business under the scheme of procurement and marketing schemes of Minister of MSME, we are doing a lot of exhibition locally, nationally, internationally, all these things through partnership program. Our MSME they are also doing this program where all the public sector also doing this vendor deployment program. Last time also we organized here vendor deployment program. We invited from Army also, and that time he wanted so for this one charu. There was no industry in charu making, and he should be registered. Shipment portal में register करना. If you are not registered in Shipment portal, people will not know that industry existed. And if you are not registered in the Turmeric registration, you cannot enter in the Shipment portal. And doing business is we have to be honest and we have to be digital mode पे जाना है. Then only we can do the business very effectively. Without doing any advertisement, digitally when you are registered, portal में है, people will know where the existing unit. They will call you or they will ask you, can you supply this? But here in Nagaland, you see, there are so many handicrafts units are there. Silviculture का product हो, in-loom का हो product हो, crafts का हो, bamboo का हो, anything, organic product हो, food processing हो. But you have to have some procedure for getting the market potential. Why are we organizing this like this national conference? To give an idea, and you have to have your marketing potential, how to make your marketing potential, how to make technology. You can explain, expand or upgrade your business technology, and that you can enhance your potential for participating in the business internationally, nationally. Trade, those export posture will come in the technical season, but the basic concept is farming is giving you a facility and trying to adapt that one and take. You can do a very good market for particularly in Nagaland handicraft products, heirloom products. You can participate in a traditional trade exhibition. For that purpose, I think in most of the heirloom and handicraft products in Nagaland, they are not registered or Turmeric registration. That is a drawback. You cannot participate in this program. Individual can apply online. This all are online now. To apply your national exhibition in particularly state Prakriti Matan or any other, he will ask you first your Turmeric registration number. When you are not having, you will get the benefits that आपको business करने से if you are doing a betting in the gym portal, आपको tender fee 99, earnest money 99, that exemption is available for MSME units. Then you can also price preference are there. 16%. You can put higher than the other micro small unit. Put 15% price difference higher than the other big industry. Next is उसमें this year I think MSME Minister asked Bahan Association to sponsor 1 or 2 persons. They are likely to go to Dubai under the International Cooperation schemes. See, MSME DI is made a MOU with the Bahan. After this month MOU, now they are also expanding their horizon in national level. From Nagaland, there is no industry association are linked with the millionaires because they are in the open within the states. They are doing. But after the MOU with the MSME minister, BAN are now doing initial stage now. So in others, there are a lot of industry associations we can form, handicraft, textile का भी, handloom का भी, bamboo का भी, सब craft का, you can make different associations. But we have to be sincerely and actually, we have to do our work and do the business. In these few words, I congratulate all of you and do honestly your business. Thank you.
So much, Stali Ramja, for your insight today. I would also like to add on this, once you become a member of MSME or you register as an MSME, Tali sir, just correct me if I'm not going wrong. You will also get the benefits like subsidies, various subsidies, whether under intellectual property rights or participating in exhibitions. So probably the subsidies amounts you will get to know from this Tali, and also the loans. So we, in fact, as an organizer and also on behalf of Ministry of MSME, we would request you to kindly visit MSME office. Everything is online to register yourself as a registered MSME member. So by this way, you will have a lot of opportunities in terms of getting these benefits. Anyway, now without delaying it, I would like to request Dr. Yang Puri, who is going to represent Business Association of Madras, and he's also the General Secretary representing BAN from Nagaland. I request Mr. Dr. Muri to kindly give you address. Thank you.
Distinguished dignitaries, speakers, entrepreneurs, and my dear friends, a very good morning to you. And I bring greetings from the business region of Nagas, also called BAN. At the outset, I would also like to thank the Indian Chamber of Commerce for inviting BAN, and also organizing this series of conferences. Yesterday, we had a conference on intellectual property rights. Today, we are having on international trade. And I think on 31st, we'll be having a conference on government e-marketplace, which are very important aspects which all of us should know. Something about BAN. BAN is about 8, 9, 10 years old now, but very few of us know. Of course, now people have started to know as internet is there, social media is there, and we're also focusing on expanding our visions and our reach. And we have been working very closely with the state government. In fact, we are one of the stakeholders who are formulating the state industrial policy. And very soon, we are hopeful by this financial year, by March 2022, we should have a functional state industrial policy, which will give a big boost to the Naga entrepreneurs and also those who want to invest in Nagaland. Secondly, we are also working very closely with the MSME ministry. We signed a MOU with the Union Secretary of, when the Union Secretary was here last month, we signed an MOU with MSME. So we are trying to work closely with them so that we can bring their schemes to the Naga entrepreneurs in a more organized way. And we are also working closely with the banks. Without finance, without banks, we cannot expand. So, be it PME, GP loans, be it other kind of loans like Mudra, everything, we are trying to work with the banks so that it will be easy for sincere Naga entrepreneurs to avail those kind of financial help. And the last 2 years, due to COVID, we could not do much. But this year, BAN has a lot of plans. We are, by next month, we will be launching our online registration portal. Like if you want to become a member of BAN, you can go to our portal and you can register as a member. And also renewal can also be done. BAN membership renewal can also be done from there. So not only from Nagaland, but Naga entrepreneurs from India, from across the world, they can register in that portal. Secondly, we are also starting a microfinance division in BAN, where we will help small Naga entrepreneurs who want to avail loan. We will help you. Eligible ones, you can come to us. We will give you small loans at very low interest. So that is also in the pipeline, but only BAN members can avail there. So if you want to avail these facilities, you have to be a member of BAN. And thirdly, we are going to tour all the districts of Nagaland and conduct financial literacy programs. This will also be done online. We will also have an online mode, but we will go to all the districts and we will conduct financial literacy programs. Because we found out we are all first generation entrepreneurs. We are yet to know about the nitty-gritties of business. So we will talk about how to do accounts, how to do file GST, how to form a company, a proprietorship, a private limited, how to take loans, how to repay them. So all this, how to grow your business, everything we will bring to you. And it is up to the Naga entrepreneurs to learn and implement that in your business. In 2017, the Business Association of Nagas, we organized the Nagaland International Trade Expo. That time we had a 3-day business summit as well. And one of the discussions during the business summit was on international trade. So we had a team from Bhutan. They came all the way from Bhutan by vehicle. They wanted to see how long it takes and what is the connectivity, how are the road conditions. So from Thimphu to Dimapur, they came by vehicle. And we had a very good discussion. We had a lot of panelists from the international trade sector. And the team from Bhutan, they gave us an offer, especially horticulture products. We will take as much as we can give, especially passion fruit, oranges, because they have a good food processing unit there. They have good brands also. So send us as much as possible, and we will take all your horticulture products, and it will be a win-win situation at a good rate. But then the volume which they told us was we are not producing that much. I forgot the number, but when we calculated, it was huge. So we can't even suffice the need of Bhutan when it comes to horticulture products. So what do we do next? I have been attending so many conferences like this, so many events on export also. What the conclusion was, we have to focus on value addition. Since we don't have the quantity, now we have to put value in our small quantities through food processing. If it is textiles, we have to put our designs, our culture, we have to even handicrafts, and we have to sell it out. So in low quantities, we can earn a handsome amount. And when it comes to international trade, financing is one very important aspect. The other part is the procedures. So even if you have the product, if you don't have finance, then you can't go ahead. So through this technical session, through these programs, I'm sure that we will learn a lot about MSME financing, as well as the procedures and how to go about. And the Business Association of Nagas, we are always there. MSME has about 300, 400 schemes. Our job, the Business Association of Nagas, we will decode those schemes. Everything looks very complicated when we go through the guidelines. We are here, we will simplify things and put to you. You can be our member, you can visit our office, and we can have a win-win situation. We will work with you. With that, I thank the organizers for inviting us, inviting BAN, and I wish all the participants all the best. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Modi, for your address. May I request my colleague, Mr. Siddharth Roy, to kindly help us to felicitate one of our guests. May I request Mr. Shanto Shubha to kindly felicitate. May I request Mr. Sashi, who is a Deputy Director from Department of Horticulture, to kindly be on the stage. Before we would like to felicitate Mr. Shanto Shubha Regional Director from the Ministry of Commerce. Welcome. May I request Mr. Shanto Shubha to kindly felicitate the session. Thank you so much for that. Now I request Mr. Sashi, Deputy Director from Department of Horticulture, to kindly give your address. May I request to be here, please.
Thank you for giving me time. It's something like an extemporary speech. Suddenly I was told to elaborate something about the one product, one business. So UTOP, Government of Thailand has received instruction from Ministry to adopt this one district, one brand. So, Department of Industry, our Commissioner and Secretary, the Department of Industry has been the nodal department to implement this scheme in Nagaland. So we had a series of discussion headed by our Chief Secretary at the government level. So we're to select certain products and crops to assign to a particular district. The objective is to make these products popular and also to scale up the production so that we can do the commercialization and also to formalize the activities. And suppose we have assigned, as far as I remember, the Dimapur has been assigned as a pineapple district. So that is one. And Kohima has been assigned as a manufacturing of pickles. So we will concentrate each district, although other products will also be promoted, but in a bigger way. And, the focus of attention of all the garment department should be on the OTOP, so that we can aggregate the product from that district. And then actually it is like this. The concept is Kohima has been assigned as a pickle manufacturing district, but it is not other district will not manufacture the pickles, but the initiative will be taken from the Kohima district, where it will be aggregated. The other pickle products from other districts will also be aggregated into Kohima districts, where it will be marketed through that channel. So that was the concept. Otherwise, if we assign one product to one district, it is not that other district will not produce that particular product. So, like egg district, we have assigned kiwi, as far as I remember, and Oka has been assigned as a fish to promote fish products, because Duyang, we have a lot of fish business and a small scale is going on. So the state government has to focus, has to upscale the fish production potential from Oka district, so that we can prepare value-added products, so and then commercialize. Even our own ethnic products of our fish product also we can promote. So that is how we are trying to do it. Anyway, this last year, this item has organized some interaction with the ministry people, where some initiatives have also been taken. So, like in Parent district, we had a plan to actually promote this marijuana products. So yes, so this is through this ministry people, they have, I think, visited several times. So like that, the government of India is taking up the initiative. So so pineapple, as far as pineapple is concerned, just keeping this OTOP in mind, we have also proposed, the horticulture department has proposed to expand that area of production of pineapple to the price taxation was like this. We fixed the farm gate price of QE at 120 for A grade. We have a lot of exercise of actually going into the grading of QE actually, since the tag was recognized or assigned as a QE district. So what we did last year was that we tried to send this QE after having a proper sorting, rating, and packaging. And also we went into the field to study how to harvest at the right stage of maturity of the fruits. Because what happened is when we harvest kiwi at the, we call it the sugar content, DSS, it is called total soluble solid. It is measured, it is actually a sugar content of at that stage of growth of that fruit. So when we harvest kiwi at 6.5 pH, DSS, sugar content, the sweetness after ripening will be about 12%, which is quite palatable. Which is quite acceptable to majority of the consumers. And if we harvest kiwi below 6.5, after ripening, it will be a little bit sour. That means the DSS rating will be below 10 around. So that's how the quality matters after ripening. So all those things we did some research and documentation, and then sorting was done, grading was done. So for any export, grading, sorting is very important because in terms of kiwi, I'll tell you, last year, actually kiwi is a very high potential crops for Nagaland. Export potential, I would say. Last year, 2021, India has imported around 30,000 metric tons of kiwi, mostly from New Zealand, and Chile, and Iran, 3 countries. Now, what happened is, in India, kiwi is grown only in 3 states. Arunachal, number 1. Number 2 is Nagaland. Number 3 is Himachal. So we need to expand this kiwi production because there is a huge domestic market. We don't need to export to other countries. This market is within India. So even last year, I'm telling 30,000 metric tons of kiwi was imported because that much of market size is there in India. Even for fresh, I'm telling about fresh kiwi market in India. Plus, kiwi has the potential to have value addition into wine making. Actually, quite popular products have been branded in Arunachal. So while Napa entrepreneur also come up with the promotion of this wine making, because wine, looking into the geographical isolation from the mainland India, because wine making is because wine doesn't have a shelf life. So it is best for us to go for something like that which doesn't have shelf. We have to worry about the shelf life. Because the more you give, the better the quality and the value. So I think I also can think of something. How do we promote wine making? Because last year we had a production about around 400 metric ton. Till December it was harvested. Last part of October, harvest start from last part of October till December. So what happened, what I'm trying to say is, in terms of kiwi, only A and B grade goes to the triple purpose market. And C, D, in India only A and B is accepted. That means A grade is more than a fruit. A kiwi fruit weighing more than 90 grams comes under A grade. So the A grade price was fixed at 85 rupees. I was involved in fixing the price with the big basket. So they have paid lending price of kiwi at Calcutta airport was fixed at 185 rupees per kilo. And the farmer's price at Futsuro was 120, which means 120 plus from transportation charge from Futsuro to Dimapur, from Dimapur to Calcutta plus. So it comes to 185. So farmers are getting good price. So that is how we actually fix the price and channelize the market for kiwi farmers. So that is within India. Now we are talking about export. That is something else. I'm just citing my own experience. So A grade and B grade comes from 80 gram to 90 gram. But my experience in harvesting kiwi was only 50% of the harvested kiwi falls under A and B grade. So what do we do with 50% of the produce? There's something we need to do locally. I mean, some value addition has to be there because hardly Naka market we don't consume much food actually here locally. Unlike pineapple we consume quite a lot, but kiwi we don't have much of local market. But India we have a big market. So considering that, we need to come up with a technology and promoting kiwi value-added products. So wine is, I think, one of the most potential products I feel which should be promoted together with the department and along with NGOs like that. So that is what I wanted to say. Of course, other districts, more it is large Karabakh, I think. And then like that in some, so I don't remember all, but Kolar, yes, Kolar was Tresam, it is assigned, different, yes. So that is how one product, one district has been working, and we are trying to promote basis on the basis of that. And similarly, parent is Naga Mercha. So that coffee, yes, sure. So coffee, of course, it was assigned to Bobokchong. So that is how UP was formalized, and then it has just started from last year. So that much we have initiated, and a lot of things to do with the partnership with the NGOs, and I think we have to interact from time to time. Yeah. So Ginger, huh? Yeah, the list will be there at yes. Yes. So yes, the list will be there. But the concept is to actually upscale the availability and production from the district, and then aggregate, and then value commercialize. That is the objective of OTOP. So I think that much for now I'm taking that other information. Anybody required, I can give you. But for OTOP, we've just begun the activities, and we have a long way to achieve the actual target. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sashi, for your insight again about ODOP, which is very important. Now, moving ahead, we need to keep Mr. Murthy, CMD, a little bit ahead because he is preoccupied for another 15 minutes in another virtual meeting. So I would like to request Mr. Sashi Wahar. He is Additional Commissioner representing CGST from Dimapur, Government of India. Mr. Wahar, over to you.
distinguished guests, members of trade bodies and associations, representatives from other government departments. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all of you. I stand here on behalf of the Office of Commissioner Central GST, and I wish to thank the organizers for, first of all, for organizing something like this. We often talk about the potential of the Northeast, but I believe that it is programs like these which actually, help spread awareness so that people can reap the benefits of such potential. I have also been requested by the Commissioner of Customs Shillong, who is in charge of the entire Northeast Customs, to read out a message on his behalf. So I'll do that at the end of what I have to share. So let me just get straight to the proceedings. I wish to talk about 2 points. Firstly, I'll speak from the customs and GST angle. We have so many speakers highlighting things from a variety of angles. So far, whoever has spoken before me have already benefited a lot, and I hope you learn something regarding customs from what I have to say. I wish to talk about 2 points. The first point being, what are the places from where we can export? The second point I'll talk about is a general overview about trade in the Northeast, to get an idea about what are the, currently at ground level, what are the products that are going on from the Northeast to our neighboring countries. So firstly, what are these places from where exports can happen? Goods cannot go out or come in from any point in the border. You have designated places which are called customs stations, right? A customs station. Now, the government notifies certain places as customs stations, and goods can only be loaded or unloaded from these places. International passengers can only come in and go out from these places, right? So goods, people, vessels, only from these places. You may be aware of some of these customs stations already. For example, an international airport. That is one of the most obvious things we may know about. You may know about a port, a big port, let's say Calcutta port, Mumbai port, Kandla port, right, Chennai. These you may be aware of. At the same time, you may be aware of a foreign post office, where a friend, or let's say you ordered something online through some e-commerce website, but even the foreign post office would deal with small packages, letters and parcels. But when we are coming to large quantity of goods, apart from port and airport, there are 2 or 3 more places through which these goods can come in and go out. One is an inland container depot, ICD, right? This is basically a dry port. See, in places in the country which don't have access to the port, the government creates a concept of a dry port. Delhi, for example, is not anywhere near the sea. And when it comes to big scale import or export, doing it through flights may be expensive. Perishable items, you can do it, but most of the trade globally happens through big ships in the cargo, right? So for somebody who wishes to export from inland, there is the concept of inland container depot, which is basically a dry port. In Delhi itself, we have one of the biggest in Asia at Tughlaqabad. So what happens there is, for someone who wants to export, all customs related work happens there in Delhi itself. And his goods, for practical purposes, is almost as if he has exported from Delhi. The goods, meanwhile, will be taken by train to the nearest gateway port. We call it a gateway port, from where the goods will actually travel to the foreign destination, right? So similarly, for the Northeast, we have one ICD, which is at Guwahati. One colleague who has come from Guwahati later on will speak after me. Perhaps he will speak a little more in detail about ICD, but I just wanted to give an idea of what an ICD is, right? So even there, the custody of the goods, once you have given your goods at Guwahati, there is a custodian. Normally, it is the Container Corporation of India. His job is to ensure the safety of your goods, make sure it reaches Calcutta and goes to whichever ship it has to go, right? So your job as an exporter customs formalities, goods, everything ends at Guwahati. It's almost that Guwahati is a seaport itself. The next, land customs stations. These are basically points at the border area. Since India is a big country, we have so many neighbors, but for the northeast, the land customs station becomes an important point. We have neighbors with Bangladesh, with Myanmar, Bhutan, right? So in all these spaces, we have points which are designated as land customs stations, and export or import can only happen from these points. Over and above this, we have a concept of what is called a border hut, HAAT, border hut. Now, these are mostly traditional markets where since time immemorial, there has been some form of trade. But this is mostly at a barter level, locally produced vegetables or fruits, or let's say traditional household implements, some form of cottage industry, which is happening, and documentation is not done there in this. So mostly barter or at a very low volume. For facilitation of trade in the Northeast, land customs stations, there are almost 35 notified land customs stations in the Northeast, out of which around 25 are functional. Closest to us, sitting here in Nagaland, would be Moreh in Manipur, and another important land customs station with Myanmar is in Champhai region of Mizoram at Zorkathor. So for Myanmar, at present, these are the two functioning land customs stations through which import or export takes place. As far as Nagaland is concerned, under Meluri subdivision, Avanku, for a good number of years, that has been on the discussion table, but officially it is yet to be notified and function. Similarly, at Arunachal, there is one which has been designated, but that is not functioning yet. Most of these land custom stations are with Bangladesh, actually. You have places close to, in Meghalaya, some of you may have visited Doki, a famous place. You see a lot of pictures, clear waters, right? You have these land custom stations at Dhubri area, as well as if you come towards Tripura, Karimganj, that area as well. You have land custom stations with Bhutan at Jaigaon and Phuntsholling, and there's mostly Bangladesh, Myanmar, and Bhutan. As I said, the inland container depot, my colleague later may explain, as well as the international airport at Guwahati. Just quickly, also mentioning what are some of the documents that a person would require when it comes to customs formalities and import and export, right? These are some of the basic documents that are required for export of goods. One, the import-export code, or IEC number. This is the basic document, and this is basically a license allowing you to import or export. It is given by DGFT, Directorate General of Foreign Trade. These days, everything is online, so for a small amount of money, this registration is done. It is basically PAN number based, so which means you already need to be having a PAN number to register under IEC, right? You also need a GST registration. How GST comes in when you talk about import or export? For purpose of GST, any import is considered as an interstate supply, which means if you're importing something, you have to pay GST on it also. Many times, for a fresh person who is trying to calculate what would be the cost of importing and exporting, they don't get that picture. But for the purpose of GST, anything coming in, apart from the customs duty, GST also has to be paid. Okay. Now, for somebody who is exporting, is GST coming into the picture? Yes, but in a different way. In order to make our goods competitive outside, the government has zero rating for GST, which means you should not be exporting out your tax. So whatever tax you pay on creating a product to export, that amount can be refunded back. There are various procedures for this, but the idea is you pay GST on whatever items you're going to use for export. Amount of GST paid and all this can be refunded back, so that is not exported, tax is not exported. All this registration, one of the speakers ahead of me was mentioning how, everything is online now. Online. So all of this is done online. You have a portal called ISGate, which stands for Indian Customs and Excise Electronic Data Interchange Gateway, ISGate, which is the portal through which registration, filing of any documents with the customs happens. So to do this, one would need registration in this ISGate. Apart from these, the other things which would be required are a commercial invoice. Basically, when you are exporting, the customs officer needs to know what is the price at which you are selling to your buyer there. So a commercial invoice. Next is a packing list. Packing list shows what are the items that you have packed in your cargo which is to go. It helps for the checking. And finally, all these documents are filed, e-filing in prescribed documents and checked by the customs. Along with this, there are many registrations that you have to take with other departments, but which should be checked by the customs officer on being exported. For example, if it is food, you need proper registration and clearances from Food and Safety Standards Authority of India, right? Similarly, if it is plants, plant quarantine, animal quarantine, textile board, spice board, the list goes on. So depending on what commodity you are going to export, the relevant which checks certification quality, you will need to have those kind of clearances. Now, in order to make this smooth, the Customs Department has created what is called SWIFT, which is an online center where instead of the exporter running around at one place, all these departments from whom clearances are required and customs have come together in one platform. So this is done online. Therefore, it is easier for getting response and the exporters don't need to run around. Quickly jumping to the next point, let's take a look at the general overview of trade in the Northeast. We often talk about the fact that we are strategically located, so much scope. We are indeed at the crossroads of East Asia, South Asia, and Southeast Asia. However, I'll look at trade that is happening mostly with our neighbors because, see, trade through the airport and through the ICD goes to other countries. But let me focus on the neighborhood and what is the scenario right now. Just to mention one point, from the ICD at Amingao and Guwahati, the output export which is going is mostly bulk, and tea is the biggest product that is going on from there. Looking at the overview of trade from our neighboring countries, Dr. Yan was mentioning regarding Bhutan and the case of pineapples or passion fruit. So if you look at the materials also, it is mostly raw materials that are going on. If you look at a bigger picture of trade, he has rightly remarked that we should be looking at second and third stage where we are trying to add some value. Sending out raw materials in the bigger picture, we are losing something. That raw material becomes something that comes back to us and we'll be paying more, right? Whereas take developed countries like Switzerland, they make watches, small things, but the value addition, the amount that is coming in, so different from let me just read out what are the major export items. Limestone, coal, boulders, tea, high-speed diesel, fruits and vegetables. See, all these are mostly raw materials that are going on. So there is a lot more to be done in this area. With Bangladesh, coal, limestone, boulders, these are the most, the biggest items that are being exported. When it comes to Bhutan as well, the export basket is machinery, petroleum products, consumer goods, and coming closer home to Myanmar. With Myanmar, we've had a unique arrangement. There is this concept of free movement regime with Myanmar. Basically, the two countries have agreed that for a distance of 16 kilometers from the border, citizens of both countries can come in and go without any visa, without any passport. So next time if you go to More, you will see that you are allowed to go beyond the border without any formality of checking a visa. And this has been done mostly to maintain the age-old relationships that have been unique in the bordering area. However, as far as trade is concerned, there have been two phases with the trade policy with Myanmar. And up to 2015, we had a mostly barter trade kind of arrangement there, wherein most of the customs formalities, requirements of what I read out earlier, IEC code and documents were not required, mostly because the quantity, volume of goods was not something which is carried in trucks, but what is allowed is head load, in a sense, how much a person can carry on his head or through a non-mechanized wheel cart. So basically implying that goods in low volume. So goods which come and go include fruits, vegetables, shoes, first copy, knockoffs, right? So because of the fluidity that exists due to the FMR, the goods are freely moving between these two countries. However, from 2015, this barter system was ended and normal trade, as we know it, has been enforced. Unfortunately, that has brought down the actual trade that has now been happening between Myanmar and India. Some of the exports which have happened in the past includes chemicals, high-speed diesel, and equipment for road construction on the other side. So, with Myanmar, the main points include two land custom stations, like I mentioned, More at Manipur, which has been started since 1995, and in Mizoram, you have Zorkhathop, which is in Champai district, which has been running since 2004. In Arunachal, Nampong, which has Pangsu on the other side, has been notified but is yet to function. And for Nagaland, you have Awanpu, which has been agreed between the two countries, but so far at the ground level, that is yet to take off. In the end, I'll just read out some facilitation avenues provided by the Customs Department, but I will go to the speech which has been sent by Commissioner Customs and just quickly go through this as well. From Mr. G.M. Kamai IRS, Commissioner of Customs Preventive, Northeast Region. Thank you, Indian Chamber of Commerce Northeast, for inviting me for this workshop. I would have loved to participate, but due to other engagements, I am not able to make it. However, I would like to convey this message. Presently, the volume of international trade through ports in Northeast is very low. However, the Northeast has the potential to become a big hub in international trade. Better road connectivity and infrastructure in land customs stations will grow substantially, giving employment to our youth. There is requirement for concerned departments involved in facilitating trade to be able to guide our young boys and girls in this regard. Organizing workshops and seminars such as this is essential to bring awareness to our people regarding the process and procedures for doing import-export. Creating awareness will automatically lead to many people availing and taking this opportunity. Every year we celebrate International Customs Day on 27 January to raise awareness about the functions of the Customs Department. This year the theme of International Customs Day was Scaling Up Customs Digital Transformation. All over the world we are shifting to digital mode of doing business. This reduces the physical interaction between trade and the various agencies and leads to improvement in ease of doing business. With regard to digital transformation, the Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs has made several initiatives to help the taxpayers. Some of these digital initiatives are, number one, e-filing. E-filing of bills of entry and shipping bills exists in 4 ports in the Northeast already, and we are working in a phased manner to roll out e-filing in the rest of the stations. Number 2, digital signature. electronic documents and messages which are submitted by the exporter need to be digitally verified and signed. This helps in preventing frauds. Number 3, Is Standardization, storage and computerized handling of indirect tax documents. This is the paperless processing of various supporting documents which the exporter needs to submit to customs. This is done in a digital manner. Online tracking facility at IceGate, faceless assessment by customs. Number 6, SWIFT. This is something which I mentioned earlier. A single window interface with major regulatory agencies such as FSI, Drug Controller, Plant Quarantine, Animal Quarantine, Textile Committee, Wildlife Control Bureau with the customs. The next point, Compliance Information Portal. This is very important because this portal gives us information on all the customs and compliance related requirements for import and export. It gives you contact details of the regulatory authorities. It gives you the customs tariff for various points. So if on Google, you can always check this Compliance Information Portal, cip.icegate.gov.in. CIP, Compliance Information Portal. This is your one-stop shop regarding procedures and compliance requirements for customs. I just repeat once more, Compliance Information Portal, cip.icegate.gov.in. 2 more points, Ice Dash. This is another online platform wherein it enables the trade to see the customs clearance time at various ports and airports. For an importer or exporter, it is important to know if I bring my goods in through Delhi, if I bring in my goods to Calcutta, what is the time spent on the clearance of the goods through the various agencies. So the government has introduced Ice Dash, which actually gives you a picture that if a goods landed in Calcutta on this day, how many days did it take for the goods to finally clear? So an importer or exporter accordingly does calculations as per his convenience and chooses which port he should bring it in from. Atithi, this is another online app available in both iOS and Android, which helps international passengers to know about customs related declarations upon arrival. Finally, there is a taxpayer facilitation center which has been started both in Shillong and Guwahati office, and you have every Wednesday from 10 o'clock to 1 o'clock at all the customs offices wherein a person can walk in at any time without appointment, speak to officers regarding any kind of queries on customs related. So with that I end with what the Commissioner says. I request the trade not to only get familiarized with all these digital initiatives, but also use them. I wish the Indian Chamber of Commerce Northeast region all the best. Thank you.
Been functioning as an independent society, and then the project
Thank you so much, Baba. I also give warm thanks to the Commissioner. And I request, before that, moving ahead, may I request Mr. PBSNN Murthy, CMD Netfeed. Sir, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear.
So
I can hear.
audio
I can
is,
hear. I can hear.
You can speak. Can you have you, sir? Yeah, we can see you, sir.
Yeah.
Is it?
Am I audible? Am I audible? My voice is coming?
So your voice is not audible.
Is it okay now?
Yeah, absolutely fine. So is it the right time for you to join us now, sir?
Are
Is
you
it
able
the
to
right
hear
time?
me?
Yes. So you can join us now.
Yeah, please.
I want to welcome you, sir. We have now Mr. PBSNN Murthy. He is the chairman and managing director from Netfeed. Earlier, before this Netfeed, he was assigned as a chief general manager in State Bank of India for the Northeast. Welcome you once again, sir. And sir, over to you.
Yeah. The guests and chief guests and other my dear friends. It's a great opportunity. I would have loved to be there personally in the Mapur. As he rightly said, I was the Chief General Manager of the Northeastern region for State Bank of India during 15 to 18. There I had the uh, opportunity of traveling across all the states and areas. And those days itself, I could realize the export potential that was there in Northeast. Yeah, my previous speaker has rightly pointed out, he has very good account of export potential and the issues involved in it, and each and every state border, and he has articulated very well. And as he rightly pointed out, there is a lot to be explored during this area as far as the export business is concerned. And another worrying feature is that the I don't know about the exact percentage, but lot of trade is unofficially happening at many borders. Many borders. I have seen in Tripura, I have seen in Assam borders, I have seen in Manipur borders. You'll see a lot of trade happens informally without coming into the formal stream. But the other side of the story is that lot of incentives are available for export promotion. And the Exim Bank, which is stationed at Guwahati branch, they also always scout for the good export finance and with lot of funds that is available. Only problem required is there is an export, there is a cheaper funds available. But the link between these two is the issue now. I think where the banking industry and the finance space and the government space, I think they should be a little bit proactive, understand the ground level problems. So NEDFI is there to finance to the export oriented units. But more can be done by the working capital bankers because term loan space, the financing opportunities for export oriented units is limited. But for working capital finance units like banks, the scope is very high. So I think the banking industry, we should encourage for maybe relaxing their stringent norms or maybe channelizing properly the business that is happening. Recently, External Affairs Ministry has reached out to us. We signed an MOU with the External Affairs Ministry for studying the business opportunities, cross-border business opportunities, and infrastructure development opportunities with these four countries, four neighboring countries. So we signed already MOU. We have started the study. We are almost 25 to 30% of the study is in progress. I think we will share as soon as the study is over, we can have a closed group again from this particular organizers to have and analyze the study which we made in respect of the possibilities of the trade for these four countries. There is a huge opportunity and government is very keen on exploring these possibilities. Central government is looking for the opportunities to encourage. Money is not a problem at all. I think there should be some coordinating agency like this. Now ICC has taken a good initiative to discuss on this issue. And they have rightly chosen the place also because there is a lot of potential available even in Nagaland. If you see Mao Gate, if you go to Mao Gate, they have got a huge amount of flowers, fruits, so many vegetables, so many things they grow. And there is no export opportunity. And another issue is that there is a lot of opportunity for organic products. See, in the hilly areas, yesterday secretary was discussing with us, in the hilly areas, certain areas where they are naturally organic, they never use the fertilizers. But those people are not getting the organic value and they are not getting the export possibility. So we need to establish the certification agencies there in the hilly areas and see that they get the organic value to their produce. And if we can link it for exporting, the prosperity will definitely uh, much more than what it is now. So these are all some of the loose ends to be tightened with the help of these kind of organizations. And NetFee is always ready. We have a startup fund also. We can invest in startups. We have funds available from SIDBI, Exim Bank. We will be certainly able to help them in financing these export-oriented units. And shortly, we are going to come out with a working capital facility also. If we start the working capital facility, even export unit, we can give working capital facility. And if you want to finance in the cold storage space, because for the perishable, because majority of the produce from the northeast are from the space of the vegetables and fruits and flowers. So if there is any storage facility, any financing at cheaper rates, we are ready to give, because we get very cheaper funds. So compared to banks, we will be able to give it at affordable rate at 6 to 7% of interest. And top of that, there are certain incentives by the central government. All those incentives, we are the operating agency. There is a capital subsidy, there is interest subsidy, there is a power subsidy. And apart from that, some of the hill states, they have the tax facility or tax benefits also. So with all this, I think with some organizations who can convert the opportunities into business, export business, I think there is a huge potential available, and NetFee is always ready to come into the forefront to help these initiatives. I once again thank you all for giving me this opportunity. Again, I apologize for not physically presenting there. Any near opportunity, I will certainly visit that place and meet the concerned people and to take the initiatives forward. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for your presence, and we really missed you in your presence with your physical appearance. We are sure that we'll have you soon in Nagaland. And now we are moving ahead to our technical session. I would like to request Mr. Mapichandra Singh, who is superintendent from ICT America from Guwahati, from the Custom Division Guwahati. Please over to you, Mr. Singh.
Thank you. Respected dignitaries, respected speakers, entrepreneurs, and all participants. Very good morning to you all. I'm very sorry today because I was late. However, first of all, I'm very grateful to my Deputy Commissioner, Custom Division Guwahati, City for nominating me for this occasion, and also to Indian Chamber of Commerce, Northeast Region for organizing this event. Today, I'm sharing basic information of export, little bit. And then I'll come to the ICTs, where I have practical expertise. There are two acts in the custom laws and procedures. They are Custom Act 1962 and Custom Tariff Act 1975. The Custom Act 1962 provides a levy of custom duty on the goods imported into or exported from India. And the provisions like seizure, classifications, interest, penalty, arrest, refund, etc. And the Custom Tariff Act 1975 provides classification of almost every item into different chapter, the heading, subheading, etc. And gives 8-digit number codes to the every item. This code is called Harmonized System of Nomenclature Code or Indian Tariff Code, ITC. For example, T has been classified as 090240020. Apple, for example, 0808100. And human here, this human here, like 67030010, etc. This act also provides a rate of duties leviable on the items. In the tariff, in the Custom Tariff Act 1972, in the items, what type of how much rate it has to be as a duty it has to be taken, it is given there in the tariff. And in this tariff act, there is two schedules. One schedule is deal with import. First schedule is deal with import, and second schedule is deal with export. Luckily for the most of the items of the exports are duty free. This is a very, because we can do business profitably in the international market. So the function of custom department is like collection of custom duty, enforcement of provisions of Custom Act 1962, and recently we have been given the role of facilitation also. So please do not have any hesitations to approach custom for any import-export related materials. That is why recently Custom Commissioner has been directed to open the facilitation center in every customs. So please, as my sir, Additional Commissioner Sri Sasivopang already mentioned. And then now we have two systems of custom clearances going on. One is the EDI systems, another is non-EDI. EDI means electronic data interchange systems, and another is non-EDI systems. So most of the land customization in the Northeast is still under the non-EDI. We filed all the export-import documents manually. But however, where I am working as a superintendent in ICT customs, it is EDI systems. Everything is done on electronically. So I'm emphasis on that a little bit more. What is done in ICT is that whenever the exporter, I will give more emphasis on export. Whenever that exporter, you open one account in the IceGate portal. Through that IceGate portal, you file shipping bills, and then along with the required documents like commercial invoice, packing list, and then the copy of the contract. Because whenever you do business with the other country, first of all, you have to have one contract. That copy is also required. That will be filed by importer or exporter or his authorized agent, or you can help of the custom house agent also. There are two custom house agents in the ICT on the ground, so you can help from them also, like that. Just so when they file that shipping bills to the this ICT portal, it comes directly to the custom officers to his computer. This computer is known as AIO, all-in-one. It is connected with the CBIC system. So it comes. Then we check the documents like assessment and like the quantity of the goods. And when it is everything is okay, then we give LOD. LEO, land export order, we give it. So as soon as it gives LEO, that LEO copy of the shipping bills directly goes to the exporter's account, IceGate account. So that way it is so to say that exporting goods is very easy and very simple. So we should not worry about anything because customs are there. We can help. We are facilitator in one way. So we are always ready to extend our hands. So like that, and when the goods has been exported, we should not worry about the taking care. As soon as it is exported, it will be taken care by the custodians for the this one ICT. It is the CONCO. Cooperation, Container Cooperation of India. They are the authorized custodian. They will take it directly to the gateway port of the truck. From there, the shipping line will take it to the respective parcel for respective destinations. So, but in the ICT, what is actually export is in a bulk quantity, like 4,000 kg and above. We do the export. It's a bulk quantity. But till now, most of the main commodity exported from the ICT is only tea, only tea. And then in the year 2099, one Naga Coffee Private Limited had exported 6,596 kg of A-grade coffee to South Africa. Naga Coffee. But now I heard from some of my the custom house residents, they are planning to export it again, like that I heard, but I'm not so sure. And then the countries where we have actually export destination countries are mainly United Kingdom, United Arab Emirates, Ireland, Poland, United States, Germany, Netherlands, Saudi Arabia, Japan, Indonesia, and Sri Lanka. These are the exporting countries of these. So other commodities, if it is a bulk quantity, we can do it. No problem. There is no problem at all. And for the small quantities of small quantity export, we can do it from the Lokpriya Gopinath Bordoloi International Airport, like a few kgs of the vegetables and all. It can be done from there. But in this year, April to August, around 34 metric tons of vegetables, jackfruit, and betel leaves, total value around 43.93 lakhs have been exported from the Guwahati International Airport to Dubai, London, and Germany. So the small quantity we can do it, and there is also service center at the Guwahati Airport itself, where the e-filing of shipping bills or bill of entries free of charge can be done by the exporter and importers. So there are rewards and incentives under the foreign trade policy of the DGFT. Among them is the remission of duties and tax on export product. We call RoDTEP. It is effective from 1st January 2021. And there is also rebate on state and central tax and levies, ROSCTL. It is mainly for the textile exporters. And transport marketing assistance schemes for agricultural export. Interest equalizing scheme. This is mainly for the MSME sectors. So like that. So currently, the exporters where is that get 0.015% of FOB value as a drawback, and 1.7% of FOB value as roadmap. But the roadmap is given by way of the debit slips. You can utilize the payment of like GST and all. And then for the export, we don't need the this one. IGST also we don't need to pay because it can be done under the LUT, we call letter of undertaking. Through LOT we can do it without giving any. It has to be from the GST office. So this is the thing. Anyone wants to ask any questions regarding? I will try to. This is my particular voice. Oh, okay. Then thank you.
So much, Mr. Singh. Yes, of course, custom plays a very important role in this along with GST. So I'm sure our delegations, our audience, they have got what information they will bring for. And during the interactive session, we will have a question answer session. So please, I request everyone to kindly raised queries during the interactive session. Now, moving ahead, we have Mr. Prithvijit Das. He is basically Deputy General Manager SME from State Bank of India. Mr. Prithvijit Das, sir, can you hear us? Is it audible to you, sir?
Hello, I can hear you.
Perfect, sir. Can you see us?
Yes, I can see you.
Perfectly, sir. So now we are going ahead with you. I welcome Mr. Prithvijit Das once again, Deputy General Manager from the SME Department, State Bank of India. He is joining us from the local head office, Guwahati. Over to you, Mr. Das.
Good afternoon to you all. See, the topic of today's, this is a national conference on energizing MSME and international trade for Nagaland. See, what I would be discussing out here would be more about MSME rather than on international trade. So there might be some queries that you might be having, which I'll be handling later, but I would be basically keeping my, I hope I'm audible out there. Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you. See, my topic is I would be speaking on the energizing MSMEs in Dimapur per se, or in India per se. I wouldn't say I wouldn't be restricting my talk only on Nagaland. What State Bank of India can do for you in the field of MSME. As we all know, MSME is the second biggest employment, generates the second biggest employment after agriculture in India. MSMEs are the growth accelerators of the Indian economy, contributing about 30% of the country's GDP. There are close to 60.34 million MSMEs in the country, as per the latest annual report of MSMEs of 2018-19. MSMEs are exposed to a higher level of integration with global value and supply chain, contributing to about 40% of the overall exports and are playing a critical role in global trade system. In terms of exports, they are an integral part of the supply chain, as we all know what supply chain is. So MSMEs per se play a very integral part in this particular area. They also play an important role in employment generation, as I had discussed earlier, as they employ 110 million people across the country. See, it is not possible for everyone to work in the organized sector. So this MSME is also takes part of the unorganized sector, and it gives employment to a huge mass quantum of people in India. Interestingly, MSMEs are intertwined with the rural economy as well, as more than half the MSMEs operate in the rural India. And it is true for Nagaland also, because Nagaland is an agrarian economy where there is hardly any big cities or towns. So MSMEs that are there found in Nagaland are more of the rural types, and they are more into handloom, dyeing, and all those industries, which can be export oriented. Research has emphasized that this sector acts as a catalyst for the socio-economic development of the country. All these become more important with the government's new mission of achieving a 5 trillion economy by 2025. But however, there's a downside to it. The COVID-19 pandemic and the ensuing national, state, and local lockdowns thereafter has hit these largely informal and small units very severely. The MSME survey reports have shown that disruptions caused by the COVID-19 pandemic impacted MSME earnings by 20 to 50% and has led to a severe liquidity crunch. While some enterprises innovated their ways by shifting focus from non-essential commodities towards essential commodities, the vast majority struggled hard to survive in the challenging economic situation owing to the low demand and ambiguity in future trends, because obviously we know that COVID has really impacted the economy in a very bad way. It can also be said that COVID-19 has altered the fundamentals of the economy and the ways in which a business should be conducted. Needless to change, the ways and means to finance MSMEs also has to change to meet the changing economic scenario. MSMEs present in remote areas, which is true for Nagaland, also faced a lot of difficulties due to the interrupted supply chain system and interstate lockdown provisions. With an intent to tackle the COVID-19 disruptions on the MSMEs, Government of India has provided access to institutional credit. Measures such as increased emergency credit line guarantee scheme or GECL has been given to businesses. Subordinate debt schemes, fund of funds schemes to provide financial relief to this sector has been introduced. The launch of the Champion portal and now the national portal where all government schemes have to be routed through, and the World Bank's trades, TREDS, are there to facilitate credit has also been initiated by the government. Sturdy credit growth to MSME portends revamped credit flows for enterprises to survive and grow. It is worth noting that in each subsequent budget after the pandemic, a lot of emphasis is being laid to the MSME sector because, as we all know, that 30% growth is envisaged in this particular sector. A slew of MSME-friendly measures have been introduced while attempts to breathe a fresh lease of life in the struggling but vital sector has been given. Allocation of to MSME sector has been doubled in the budget of 2021 as compared to the previous years. This move has been welcomed and applauded by MSME sector and will no doubt help in reviving the sector. To incentivize the MSME exporters of garments, leather and handicraft items, which is very much true for Nagaland, the budget has announced the withdrawal of exemptions on imports on some types of leather as they are manufactured domestically in quality and quantity. Furthermore, customs duty on finished synthetic gemstones, which is not true for Nagaland, has been increased to encourage its domestic processing. The government has also proposed to allocate rupees 300 crores towards the establishment of new technology centers for the MSME units. What is SBI's commitment to MSME? SBI has not always been seen as an MSME-friendly bank, considering, and this is a very odd perception, considering that SBI has the largest share in MSME lending in the country, which is when we see MSME's share, or State Bank's share in MSME, we find that State Bank, about 30% of the total MSME in India, MSME lending is done by SBI. But despite that, it is a strange perception that people have that SBI is not all that MSME friendly bank. SBI's vast reach and immense network ensures that MSMEs and budding entrepreneurs are financed even in the remotest corner of the country. I think we are the lead bank in Nagaland, and we have a very big role to play in the development of MSME in Nagaland. Our management is committed to proper funding of MSMEs as we recognize the immense potential of growth in the MSME sector. SBI was the first and the most proactive bank when it came to extending emergency credit to MSMEs post the emergence of the pandemic. When it comes to energizing the MSMEs, there are a few hurdles on the way. It is widely believed that a reduced interest rate, less collateral requirements, and improved access to credit will give a boost to the sector. In fact, we have this Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, where you don't require the collateral at all. It is covered by the government through a CGFMU insurance. So if it becomes bad, we can always get money from the CGFMU. SBI aims at removing the perceived hurdles that have introduced a slew of MSME-friendly measures. One of the biggest strengths of SBI in MSME financing comes from the fact that we offer a wide range of products and services tailored to meet the financial needs of the smallest trader to the largest industrialist and everyone in between. Dedicated product designing teams are tasked with designing products to suit the maximum possible demographics. Population of India is a heterogeneous mix, and as such, a wide range of products is needed to cater to all. To energize SMEs, especially in the international front, we have a few, I will be discussing a few products out here. The first product that I would be discussing is the export packing credit. To encourage exporters and aid in their growth, we have launched the export packing credit scheme. The product basically is financing of working capital for purchase of raw material, processing, packing, transportation, and warehousing of goods meant for export against two conditions. Firstly, you have to have an export order or a letter of credit, and B, the liquidation of the packing credit by submission of an export document within the stipulated period. The loan is extended as a pre-shipment finance because post-shipment is something different. Pre-shipment, because we are here, what has happened is this: we have this export packing credit to generate or to create the product. This loan is extended. It is extended as a pre-shipment finance, extended as a working capital, and permitted as running account or order to order based, depending on the business model of the borrower. A 5% interest submission is also provided by the Government of India in export credit. Moreover, facilities extended as export credit are insured by the Export Credit Guarantee Corporation or ECGC. For further incentivizing, the premium of the above mentioned ECGC is borne by the bank for exporters and units rated as A. Cost pre-shipment credit in foreign currency or PCFC. This scheme covers the cost of both domestic as well as imported imports of exported goods as LIBOR, Euro, LIBOR, Euribor related rates of interest. Exporters, which is a much reduced rate of interest. Exporters are the target group from whom this product has been developed, and all exporters are eligible provided there is an existence of an export order. As I have mentioned earlier, there has to be irrevocable letter of credit, and this PCFC can be carved out of the export credit limit, because this is, suppose we have a 1 crore of credit limit, we have this foreign currencies basically carved out of the existing credit limit, subject to the advance being within the overall sanction limit in both domestic and foreign currency. The facility as of now is extended in four currencies, namely US dollar, Great Britain pound, euro, and Japanese yen. Besides the above credit products, many other measures have been introduced for facilitating international business. One among them being the introduction of the Forex Out, a tool of outward remittance with a limit of up to 25,000 per day. This is something which can be accessed and used by every branch of State Bank of India, and not just Forex dealing branches. On the domestic front, I was talking about export. We have got I would be discussing a few products, because these products I think would be very relevant to a state like Nagaland. First, we have the Stand Up India. Stand Up India scheme was launched by the Prime Minister in 2016. The scheme endeavors to create an ecosystem for SC, ST, and women entrepreneurs. Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram is a place where there are a lot of women entrepreneurs, which facilitates and continues to provide a supportive environment for doing business. The objective of Stand Up India scheme is to facilitate sanction of bank loans between rupees 10 lakhs and rupees 1 crore to either a scheduled caste or a scheduled tribe borrower, or a women borrower per bank, at least one women borrower per bank branch for setting up a greenfield enterprise. This is how greenfield means a new enterprise, not an existing enterprise. The enterprise may be in manufacturing, services, or the trading sector. In case of non-individual enterprises, at least 51% of the shareholding and controlling stake should be held either by an SC, ST, or a women entrepreneur. Number two, the EDFS. EDFS is the Electronic Dealer Finance System, which was introduced by SBI in 2009 to extend loans to dealers, distributors of industry majors, which we have many, with whom bank has entered into a tie-up for financing their dealers under various terms and conditions for the purchase of finished goods from industry majors. The newly developed dealer finance system aims to automate the loan disbursement and interest recovery process and provide a repayment model through the internet banking system of the bank. This system provides facilities like online access to dealers' accounts, online remittance to industry majors from dealers' accounts for the invoices, online tracking, repayment, and monitoring. The scheme offers loans under concessionary rate of interest and liberalized terms and conditions on the strength of industry majors' comfort in stopping further supplies to the dealer in case of non-payment within the due date. Bank has a tie-up with industry majors in all major sectors like auto. We have a tie-up with Tata Motors, Maruti Suzuki, Hyundai, Honda, fast food, FMCGs, consumer durables, ITC, Hindustan Lever, LG, Philips, Videocon, oil sector like BPCL, HPCL, IOCL, Steel Authority of India Limited, Tata Steel, Jindal Steel, to name a few. Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana, like Stand Up India, this scheme is also a Government of India scheme. This scheme was launched with a vision to fund the unfunded, thereby leading to a growth in MSME and employment. Pradhan Mantri Mudra Yojana is a simple loan extended both as term loan and working capital to the tune of up to rupees 10 lakhs and with no clause of collateral security and with the minimum paperwork. The aim is to provide credit to individual businesses who are not very conversant with complexities of availing a loan but are in urgent need of loan nevertheless. To further ease in availing PMMY, a sub-product called the e-Mudra has been launched, whereby the entire end-to-end process of application to sanction is done through the digital mode only. This is up to rupees 50,000. So anyone and everyone having an Aadhaar card can apply for this particular loan. Moreover, platforms such as the contactless lending platform and national portal has been launched to facilitate ease of borrowing, where except for documentation, the entire thing is done online. Then we have the final thing, we have the PMAGP or the Pradhan Mantri Employment Generation Program. This is also has been introduced as a means to finance the unemployed youth of the country. In addition to employment generation, this scheme also boosts the growth of MSMEs. A capital subsidy to 25 to 35% is available for the applicants of the loan. This loan is chiefly extended to manufacturing and service sector within the MSME sector. It is seen that a PMAGP has helped immensely in the growth of cotton industry, because here what happens, the financing, though the bank finances, but this particular, the loan proposals have to be routed through KVIC or the Khadi and Village Industries Corporation, who will be the sponsoring agent for this particular loan. One of the major hurdles when it comes to MSME finance is the stipulation of collateral security. Because what happens is this, I need money, but I don't have anything to keep as collateral. With that in mind, the Government of India had introduced the concept of CGTMSE. CGTMSE is basically a collateral security insurance, and this is availability of bank credit without the hassle of collateral or third-party guarantee would be a major source of support to first-generation entrepreneurs to realize their dreams of setting up an MSME unit. See what happens, bank would also like to hedge its bet, and that is the reason why we ask for collateral security. But the CGTMSE that is there takes care of this collateral security. It is a credit guarantee scheme, and it strengthens the credit delivery system and facilitates the flow of credit to the MSME sector. As of now, loans up to 2 crores are covered under CGTMSE with a maximum coverage of up to 80%, 85% of the outstanding. That is against a loan of rupees 2 crores, 1 crore 70 lakhs is covered by CGTMSE. The main objective is that the lender should give importance to the viability of the project and secure the credit facility purely on the loan, the asset that has been financed. The other objective is that the lender availing guarantee facility should endeavor to give the composite credit to borrower, so that a borrowers obtain both term loan and working capital finance from the same single source or agency. Like you don't have to go for working capital, you don't have to go to a separate lending institution, and for the term loan to a separate lending institution. The CGTMSE scheme seeks to reassure the lender that in event of an MSME unit which has availed a collateral-free credit loan and fails to discharge its liability to the lender, the guarantee trust would make good the loss incurred by the lender to the extent of maximum possible coverage. Because all MSME that is there are not successful, there are failures. Like what happens, out of every 10 MSME units, about 7 units might fail, 3 units might be successful. But the bank is not going to hound you to return the money, because CGTMSE is there from where the bank can get its money back. In a new development, an option of hybrid security has been introduced, whereby a borrower can avail the CGTMSE coverage of up to rupees 2 crores and bring in collateral security for the remaining portion of the limit if the limit exceeds the CGTMSE coverage range. That is, suppose I want a loan of rupees 5 crores, 2 crores would be covered by CGTMSE, and for the remaining 3 crores, I might be asked, bank might ask me for collateral security. This is basically, in a nutshell, what I wanted to tell you all about MSME. We have got various schemes which I did not want to touch upon. because the time limit given to me is 10 minutes. I could have gone in for half an hour, 40 minutes, 50 minutes by touching upon all the schemes that the bank has. So these are a few schemes which I thought would be relevant for today, for this particular conference. And I hope that I have been able to touch upon all the important area. And I expect that in the coming days, conferences of this nature would definitely help in energizing the MSME sector in Nagaland. And there might be an improvement, an increase, there would be an increase in employment, and there will be substantial growth in the industry sector of Nagaland. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Prithvirji, for your detailed insight about all the information regarding for the MSME loans and all the other schemes. And I'm sure during our interactive session, probably many people will have some questions. So I believe you'll be there, sir, online during the interactive session. So will it be possible for you to be there online during the interactive session, sir?
So you are not very. Sir, you are not very clear.
Right, sir. Right, sir. Now, moving ahead,
yearly exercise. The yearly
Mr. Ashwin Bhatia, can we have you? Yes, we can see you.
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yeah. Now I would like to welcome and request Mr. Ashwin Bhatia. He is Assistant General Manager from Sydney Regional Office, Assam. He is also joining us from the regional office on a virtual mode. We welcome you, Mr. Bhatia. Hope you can listen to us. You can see us all sitting here to listen to your deliverables. I hope everything is audible to you. Thank you so much. Over to you, Mr. Bhatia.
Yeah. Very good afternoon to all the participants, first of all, who have assembled here for this conference on energizing MSMEs in the international trade. At the outset, I would like to thanks Indian Chamber of Commerce and also the Industries Department and the other departments who have find out the valuable times to capacitate our MSMEs in this very informative session, energizing MSMEs in international trade. So yes, many of I was hearing from the welcome speech only. I was online. I listened to almost all the speakers who are here and who have addressed. The previous speakers have set a very nice tone of this seminar or the workshop, and they have covered many aspects, like what is the potential itself in the state of Nagaland, how we should look in the export part, and the from SBI also, from NetFee, the chairman has also addressed it very nicely. What are the prospects over there? What are the lending opportunities? So let me try to cover there are some different aspects, or I would like to add on to how we can energize these MSMEs in this international trade. So before that, I would like to introduce myself. My name is Ashwin Bhatia. I'm Assistant General Manager with SIDBI. I have an experience of 13 years in SIDBI, and as a profession, I worked in the head office also, promotion and developmental activities also I have worked, and also in lending activities. And I'm a computer engineer and MBA graduate from IIT Madras. So this is a small introduction about me. Now coming to the topic. So I believe that those who are here must be doing something or must be planning to do related to international trade. So whether we do any international trade or a domestic trade, so important aspects of the trade is that we should look into two things very importantly: the product what we are dealing with and the quality. This product should be demand basis. So whenever we make any product or make it available for to the market, is mostly we design it based on the demand in the market. Even in the service also, say bamboo basket we used to make. I'm citing an example to make it more interactive. So whenever we make a bamboo basket, earlier we used to store their for vegetables, or in the fields we use where farmers we have seen to collect the potatoes or the vegetables from the fields and bring it back. Now see the beauty of demand. This plastic has been banned, and since we are trying to becoming more eco-friendly, we are trying to switch from your plastic to other materials which is easily biodegradable or decomposable. So bamboo is another key area which can replace the plastic, and it has been found that yes, many things in our office we use dustbins which are mostly of metals, or we use plastics, so that can be replaced initially with the bamboo baskets. So there is an order from DFS also that all the banks should be promoting this green, and they try to adapt it. Now, every households now has a need of laundry bag, or you can laundry baskets where we keep our used clothes and all. Now, this is mostly we have seen is of plastic of various brand. So this basket, which initially we used to only in the fields by the farmer, has got now emerging demand as a laundry bag or a laundry basket. Now, what things is both are in a similar pattern, only the shape is different. It has to be weaved with the bamboo strips, and it is to be made available. Now, product, whenever the first thing I said is the product. Now, this product is based on the need. We have identified that yes, this is the need. We need the product. Now, quality. Now, whenever we make anything, it should have some standards like length, breadth, height. It should be similar. Like I've seen in the handicraft field, our artisans or the MSMEs are doing it very diligently, but we are seeing that whenever they manufactures any items, say a pen stand or a basket, the shapes of everything varies. It is one product, same product, have a different thing. So standardization is the important part which we need to take care. Now the standardization can be achieved if we control it right at the manufacturing stage. So we normally use jigs and dies also, or an iron structure around which we weave, so that it becomes faster, and the shape output that end product also has a better shape. Now, why this standardization is required? Whenever you ship it, when you transport it, the final product cost at the buyer's end, it includes your transportation cost also. So whenever we transport, if it is not properly stackable, means ek ke andar ek jayega, stack hoga, then you can transport less. If it is done in such a way that it is easily stackable, then you can transport more, and your transportation cost come down, so end users find it at a better rate. So this is one thing. There's a quality aspects. Another is that when we put it, when we place the product, it should be stable. It should be looking uniform. It should not be like one leg down and one other side up. So these things are very much required. Now coming to international trade, whenever you go to international trade, this precision and this quality aspects plays a much more important role to do any kind of trade. Say my earlier speakers I heard about kiwi. So kiwi is as he said, there's a very informative way provide that Nagaland also has a kiwi. Now kiwi export, he said that some 50% can be exported and 50% cannot be. Very informative thing. I have also learned. Now we can try see that if some pulp can be used or can the jam can be done out of it, so that those who are having not in the export quality, that can be value addition we can do, and then we send it. We can sell it to the market. So this value additions also can be done in improving the product. Now, as we know, the change is the only constant in the universe. So we have to keep on improving, continuously improving our product line, product base, diversify it as per the market needs. So these aspects has also to be taken care. Now, as you are aware, and some speakers have also covered about ODOP, one district, one product, and others. So we it is always better to have a cluster approach. Why? Because whenever you find any domestic demand or international demand, the volume is typically seen to be very high. So in our MSMEs, individually may or sometimes may not, largely it is may not have a capacity to execute such a large order. So when we do in a cluster, so it will be easier for us to execute that order at a bigger level. So cluster approach is also a very important thing which will help us not only in domestic, also in international trade to meet the demand, expectation, timeline. These are the few things which we need to be very much sure about when we do any kind of trade. Now, coming to the quality aspects I've covered, now comes the pricing part. I have seen most of our artisans or MSMEs, they find a problem in the pricing. Even they say that, I am selling this basket, bamboo basket at 80 rupees. So it is a judgmental only. He is just using his judgment that, okay, 80 rupees if I get, I am sufficient. But it is not ensuring that proper pricing has been done. So to do the proper pricing, you need to know what is the cost of the raw material, how much labor you have put in, how much, then you write everything which are required to get the final product. Then you top up your margin that I will earn 10% profit on it. Say 100 is the input cost, then 10%, 110. So 110 is your cost at your place. Then whoever is the buyer to whom you will sell, you can tell this, okay, 110 is the cost at my place. It excludes transportation, so that he is also clear that how much transportation cost, how much order they need to be given, so that he can get the product, the buyer get the product at say 114 rupees or something. So 4 rupees maybe the transportation cost. So this is how the pricing also plays a very important role in any trade or any production things we get into. Like previous speakers have also covered about trade part also. My experience is that market linkage and credit linkage, these are the two important pillars which ensure sustainability of any organization or any enterprise. Now, market linkage, if you have a proper, then credit linkage will be automatically will be there. Why? When you will sell some products, then you will be able to repay your loans. So whenever you repay your loans, then it becomes, your credit history becomes good, and in the future your chance of getting a better loan or more increases. So this is how you can have a good financial health. Your balance sheet size also grows, everything. So most important part where you need to focus is the market linkage part. So I'm sorry, I had to take the call. So I was there about market linkage. Now, quality, market linkage I spoke, pricing I spoke, and then your product diversification. These few things I spoke about. That was the role of SIDBI. SIDBI is a financial institution which is for MSMEs. We do refinancing, we do promotional and developmental interventions in various. In Nagaland also, many promotional and developmental interventions we have done and we are doing. Our office is at Dimapur. So one of the on the promotional developmental activities, what we do is to try to work with the artisans or our MSMEs to capacitate them so that their product quality improves or their diversification by way of various skill development programs we do, and their they can improve on whatever the qualities they have. These are the few things we do. In SIDBI, we have recently, not recently, it's been a time, in line with RIDF of NABARD, we have launched SIDBI Cluster Development Fund. Under that fund, this is basically for infrastructure development in the state. So that fund, every state can borrow this from SIDBI for the development of a particular cluster or existing cluster by way of procurement of machineries or setting up common facility centers, anything for the clusters is there. So under SCDF, if there is any existing cluster which needs to be upgraded or to be set up, can be covered, and it is available for the state government to avail from SIDBI. It is in the similar line with RIDF. For more details, our branch in charge is available there in Dimapur. They can discuss, and of course it is not in a individual or entrepreneurship level, because it's a government to government level. So government is facilitated to develop the infrastructure facilities under this fund only for MSMEs. Now when we do any product pricing and all, or I've seen that whenever we interact with MSMEs or artisans, we ask them that what is your product line or what are the products you have. So a catalog, and that it is important. Okay, jo dikhta hai wahi bikta hai. It is not possible always to keep a stock of all the items and show it to your customer. So you create your own catalog so that you can tell that this is the things I have built in the past. Again, not in the, you have to say that this is what has been, I am selling it to Maharashtra or to Myanmar or to Bangladesh, so that the buyer gains confidence that, okay, he is able to deliver to such and such persons and they have purchased it. So yes, of course, his quality or the product is good. So these things also needs to be looked upon for your capacity building. So rest of all, I think, has been mostly been covered by the other speakers. So this is all in because of paucity of time. I could speak to you regarding how we can improve our trade in domestic also and also in the international arena. Yes, of course, you just ensure that these key things you take care of: the quality, the product diversification, your marketing, your pricing, and how you continuously diversify your product. So this is all you should know, and then you progress. And I'm sure you'll be doing good in your state. And also we have a lot of potential itself in our Northeast. So we had to communicate it because other people doesn't know. So how you can communicate when you have something, product catalog, or you participate in fairs, and this is how. So we need to open up to showcase what we have. So this is how the trade improves. With this all, I thank you all for the patience hearing, and I thanks again ICC for organizing such a wonderful seminar. Thanks you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for your detailed information. And I'm sure regarding for this OTOP and the clusters, they have been identified the industries, and I think there are some clusters which have been formed. Mr. Sashi, you have any idea? This has been formed.
Yes, yes.
Right. See, this is one of the recommendations from CIPI also. I mean, the cluster is very important for all these. Yeah, please.
Yeah, we got a query from a friend from the bank. We have already formed certain clusters. For example, in PAC district, we have FPC, that is Farmers Producer Company, an organic QP. It is blended in cluster area. So, and for example, Naga we have a 500 clusters, 500 farmers clusters in the parent district. So this OTOP of parent district is Naga. So that way we are promoting in cluster. So we are also coming into that cluster, and we need to form more cluster. Yes. Otherwise, we have already started the cluster.
Rightly said. Thank you so much, Mr. Ashif Pandya. Now, moving towards Ms. Sunita Rai. Ms. Rai, can we have you on board? Can you hear us?
Mr. Pranjal?
Yeah, we can see. Yes, absolutely. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I hope the same.
Absolutely. We can see you.
Can you hear me also?
Yeah. Thank you so much. Let me reintroduce. We have now Ms. Sunita Rai. She is Assistant General Manager and Regional HR from APEDA. She is also joining us virtually. We welcome you in this forum. Thank you so much for joining us. Over to you, Ms. Sunita Rai.
Thank you, first of all, ICC, for organizing such a wonderful workshop, and thank you for inviting me. And I apologize for not joining physically. A very good afternoon to all the delegates, both offline and online as well. Myself, Sunita from APEDA. APEDA is an organization many of you already know. It's an export promotion organization. Just as the previous speaker said, market linkage and credit linkage is very important. So if you talk about agri exports and then talk about market linkage, APEDA is an export promotion organization, and therefore it's the role and the function of APEDA been given by the government of India for export promotion. I have made a small PPT because of the paucity of time. I'll not deliver much on the slides, but then just for the sake of understanding picture, because I think sometimes pictures, they speak louder than words. So I'll just share my slide. Has a slide come full screen?
Can you make it full screen? I think it's still, yeah, if you go towards little left,
Okay, it is showing full screen from my side. Okay, I'll continue anyway. I'll just skip this slide. The APEDA headquarters is at Delhi, and we have a regional office at Guwahati for the northeastern states. Anybody have any queries related to exports from the region can contact the Guwahati office. Something talking about exports from the northeastern region, the primary markets has been Bangladesh, Bhutan, Myanmar, and of course in the initial years, China also from the Nathula Pass that is in Sikkim. But then if you talk about other country exports, it was in the year 2018 only when the Guwahati airport got the custom clearance facility. So this was the first time that it has happened, and this is the only airport in the northeastern region which has got the custom clearance facility, which also means to say that anybody who would like to export directly can do all the documentation itself from the Guwahati airport. This was a mixed consignment containing vegetables from Assam, which had gone to Dubai for the first time. And then there are other states like Manipur and Tripura, which they have been asking for such kind of facility in the state. And I think Dimapur airport also can be a hub in the days to come, depending on the export volume. And when we talk about organic, everybody knows very well, Northeast is an organic hub. But when we talk about the organic certification and the cost involved, the state of Sikkim is the first organic agency from the northeastern state. In the days to come, I think other states will also follow suit. And then when we talk about animal products, not only agri products, animal husbandry products such as the pork, which is no longer a social taboo in the northeastern region. This was the first pork processing unit set up in Assam. This was also funded under TRI scheme of the Ministry of Commerce. So this is something very important project also in the sense that when you talk about exporting, especially to Bhutan, you can think of exporting pork products to Bhutan, apart from the domestic consumption in the northeastern market. This is a graph. I've just taken only two slides for this. One is Bangladesh and another Bhutan, just to show that the exports has increased to Bangladesh and Bhutan in the last 2 years. You can see there are few items which has considerably increased in the sense like the demand for wheat, the non-basmati rice, maize, etc. has grown up to Bangladesh and Bhutan. So there lies an opportunity for the northeastern state also, especially exporting when you talk about to neighboring countries. Similar, this is also the export graph happening from the northeastern region to Bhutan. And also you can see the products like dairy products and then rice. These are also increasing in the initial last 2 years. This is the same data which for export from India to all the countries from the northeastern states. You can see maximum are the like non-basmati rice, then wheat, dairy products, and then of course fresh vegetables and fruits also to Bangladesh and Bhutan. There is also a lot of demand for maize for animal feed in Bhutan as well as Bangladesh. So you can think of something non-perishable. You can think of growing in a large scale maize for meeting the requirement of Bhutan and Bangladesh market. Export items which have got a high importance when you talk about from the northeastern states. I think number one is pineapple, which is grown in almost all the states of the northeast, bearing Sikkim. And then we also talked about kiwi, which is also a very important crop when you talk about import substitution, because we have been in India importing a lot of kiwis from other countries. And I think there lies a market in the national market as well as the export market also. And then there are also very few unique items from the northeastern region, which also has got the GI tag, that is the geographical indication, which means to say the products from the northeast, from that state, like the king chili from Nagaland. Then other products, if you have to talk about also, we have got large cardamom from Nagaland, Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, which has got very good demand also. And then there are very few unique items like the red rice from Assam, black rice of Manipur. These are also getting a lot of queries and then a lot of importance because of the nutraceutical values there. This is getting a lot of having a lot of export demand in the international market. And then when we talk about organic honey, And then bamboo shoots from Nagaland, this also has got a lot of importance now, because people know that whenever you have to source anything very having less, less MRLs, that is the maximum residual limits in terms of pesticides and heavy metals, something that can be sourced is from northeastern region. So people know very well that whenever we do any kind of such lab test, normally we do not get any kind of chemicals in it. So this is one of the big advantage when we talk about the rest of India and the northeastern states. Having talked about the product, I think we should also know which are the markets that any entrepreneurs would like to export. So this is a matrix of the crop and the destination. I hope you can see the slides. I'm not reading the slides. You can just go through the products. The products which have been taken are all of the Northeast, like pineapple, mandarin orange, kiwi, banana, lemon, mushroom, bamboo shoots, etc. So you can see which are the markets for these products. And my next slide is again the same. You can see the organic products have got very good demand in the developed countries like US, European countries like Germany, Italy, etc. So you can see a variety of the products which can go to which country. Since I said about the product metrics and the country, so if you have to get any kind of data, this is also very important for new startups who are venturing into business and exports. You can see such kind of data can be taken out from our website www.epeda.gov.in. So when you click in the website, you can see the Agri Exchange portal. You can see the product profile. You want to know anything about a product. Suppose example, if I take, you want to know something about pineapple and you want to know where to export. So you can click the product profile and you can see where India is exporting to which countries and which are other countries exporting to the world. Similarly, if you want to know something about a country, say for example, a neighboring country like Bhutan, say, you can also see what Bhutan is importing from India and what is Bhutan importing from other countries also. You can take out this data by yourself. These are all in the public domain. Anybody can take all of this data. This is very important whenever you want to analyze any kind of export data and import data as well. So this is a very good site for the benefit of all the entrepreneurs. This is the first EPEDA NPPO approved pack house. NPPO is the National Plant Protection Organization, organization which issues the health certificate for exports. Then you can see this is in Guwahati airport. So from northeastern region, if somebody wants to export directly to the European country, they can make use facility of this pack house. Why I'm stressing on this pack house is that because this is the only and the first pack house that is approved by EPEDA and NPPO for exports to European countries. So this happened only last year only. Prior to that, any consignment had to be taken to the other states which is having the pack house, such as Delhi or Kolkata, for example. So now anybody can use of this pack house and then export directly from the northeastern states. And I think there should be more of such kind of pack house in all the states of the northeastern state.
Only one slide is visible, only that starting slide. Can this be moved? I'm seeing only that first slide.
First slide. Yes.
Others can confirm.
Yes. Only we are stuck with the slide one only.
We are only one slide only we are able to see.
The first slide.
Where Air India flight is there and then fruits, vegetables are there.
What I'll do, I'll share again. Let me stop here. Now, which slide can you see?
Yeah, this slide we can see now.
Okay.
Yeah, it's 11.
Okay. Can you see this slide? Export of unique products from India?
Exports.
Okay. Thank you for the confirmation. I wish somebody would have pointed me a little earlier. Anyway.
Yeah, they should have done it. I was waiting why it is happening.
Okay. Because
anyway, you please share the presentation also with us, no problem.
Okay. So no issue. So When you talk about exporting very unique products from the northeastern region, we had done trials with
You put it in slide mode so that it will get expanded.
Okay, can you see it's 100% now, full screen?
No, you have to put it in the slide mode, slides, no? PPT slides mode, so that it will come fully. People can see from back.
It is full screen. Can you see? Can you see?
Hello, go ahead.
It's actually showing.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. So something very unique products. If we had done with the red rice of Assam to countries like USA, then Tripura jackfruit is also got very high demand in the European country. Tripura jackfruit. This was when you talk about export, perishable competitors are really a challenge because we do not have that kind of infrastructure in the northeastern states. And then from Nagaland, we did something with the king chili, fresh king chili for the first time to London. And then it had got a very good, response from the country, from the UK. And then it also got very good, feedback from all the exporters. But then one of the major challenge was in packaging. And then we hope to, do the kind of shelf life studies and then kind of packaging study that has to be done, which APEDA is working on it. Sharing my next slide. These are some of the products export, which is continuously going on. Especially if we talk about the long beans from Assam, especially this is also a regular consignment which is happening from Assam. And then black rice, also red rice, and then Assam lemon, and of course not to forget ginger and other spices as well.
We are showing this. We are seeing the slide of Nagaland district and ODOP. That is a slide that is being displayed now.
Yes, I'm in that slide. Okay, you can see the list of district and the product. That is the one district, one product, district and the product. You can see which are the products that has been taken under the ODOP program. So I think there has to be a convergence of efforts between all the stakeholders for promoting these products from Nagaland. You can see this slide. It's about a financial assistance scheme of APEDA.
I think we can move ahead, please.
Okay. So this is a scheme. Apart from providing market linkage, we also support the exporters in a small way in have this kind of subsidies, which I'll be telling you in my subsequent slides. We have three components. That is the infrastructure, quality, and market development. I'll be talking one by one. In terms of infrastructure development, exporters can create the integrated pack house facilities such as the sorting, grading, washing line, etc. They can also purchase reefer vans or other cable handling system for banana, or if they have a processing unit and they can purchase some of the the equipments or some of the lines to address the missing gaps to improve the food safety and quality. So for these, the good news is that for the northeastern and other difficult areas, landlocked states, the percentage limit has been increased from 40% to 75%. So this is a new scheme which has come up only in October 2021, and the maximum ceiling has been kept at 2 crore for this activity. So, and then another very good scheme for the stakeholders such as the PSU and the state government, wherein you can create a common infrastructure facilities for that, and then the 90% grant, and then the maximum ceiling is 6 crore. So this is a good scheme where the state government can think of setting up any kind of facility which can benefit the common exporters. Next slide, it is about the quality development. You can see the quality development, somebody is having the processing unit, and then if they want to purchase any kind of lab equipments or instruments, they can purchase. Again, it is 75%, and then maximum is 50 lakhs per beneficiary. These are all back-ended subsidy. You first have to apply to APEDA, then get a sanction, and the money will be reimbursed back to the exporter. And there is no component of bank loan. Since it is a back-ended subsidy, if they wish to take bank loan, it is up to the it is up to the exporter. And then for organizing any kind of seminars by the state government or other stakeholders, they can also take up to the subsidy of ₹5 lakhs. Then another very important component for the northeastern states is the trial shipment. Anybody who wish to do a trial shipment for exports, it must be a new product, and the country also should be new. They can do a trial shipment where the eligible assistance is 75% for the northeastern state, and the maximum is 10 lakhs per container per trip. So this is a kind of transport assistance in the sense that the farm to the port and then port to the country of destination, that the distance, whatever the trip, the expenses will be covered under this component. And then we have also another under that subcomponent, we have a registration of brand and intellectual property rights outside India. So anybody who wish to do it, they can do maximum is 20 lakhs per beneficiary per outlet. And these are all in a website. The details is there, the guidelines is there. You can have a look at those. And then any entrepreneur from Nagaland who wish to apply to some of the schemes which I've just mentioned can contact me if they have any doubts. This can be availed by anybody who has not exported for the first time. So it is in the sense that it can be somebody who is very new to exports, and then they can still take this benefit for the first time. The only thing is that they have to get the importer exporter code, then they have to get registered with EPEDA for availing this scheme. So this is there, and this was my last slide. And then just to show you my previous slide, which could not be seen, I think. I just wanted to show you a product matrix. Can you see this product matrix slide? Anybody can confirm?
No, it's not. Actually, we are again stuck with the OTOP slide.
Okay, I don't know. It's showing me. Yeah, I think. Anyway, I think we'll close because I think we are also, I'll just stop the slide now then.
Actually, I just have a small question. Basically, there is one participant who has joined as a delegate. Shall I, yeah, if you open that, there is a question for Apeda. If you open that, can you see the question? There is a question from Narima.
Correct. There are 1500 metric ton of Nadia ginger.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Exactly.
One question.
Yeah, 1500. So if you would like to highlight, to share his contact details, so we would like to get in touch with him on the way around. Or you would like to address something right now on this now?
Okay. Would you like me to respond now or?
Yeah, if you can. I mean, it's okay. If you can address it now.
Okay, there are 15 metric ton of Nadia ginger. It is almost a month that it was shared with the EPEDA officials, but no response till date. Can Madam help in creating market linkage? Okay. This is what a fresh ginger, and then the season of ginger has come. Everybody also knows now. We have been, linking many exporters with ginger because this is also one of the commodity which has got a lot of demand. So the person please contact me because there are a lot of queries being generated, and if you talk about if you speak to 4 or 5 exporters, then only is the business clicks with one. So you have to negotiate with them also. You please share me your contact details so that I can contact you. Okay.
Okay. Narala, can I request your information? Can you get in touch with us? Can you share your contact details so we can share it with Apeda if you're listening to us? Can you leave your message here so we can collect the information from the chat box? Thank you so much, Madam, for joining us. Now, we really have a very great information from your side. So, looking ahead to Spices Pro, may I request Mr. Dharmendra Das, can you?
Yes. Am I audible, Borua? Am I audible,
Mr. Das?
Am I audible?
Absolutely, you are absolutely audible.
So good afternoon
we
to
are
all.
starting.
So you have to.
We just give us 1 minute. Let us.
Okay. Okay. No issue.
So we can start with the slide. Okay. I would like to introduce, we have Mr. Dharmendra Das, he is Deputy Director in charge from Spices Board Regional Office. He is also joining us on virtual board. We welcome you, Mr. Das. Over to you. And your slide is, can you see the slide?
I could not able to see in my laptop that slide.
Siddharth, can you? The slide is already live and we have shared the slide also.
Have you shared the slide? Okay, I'll do one thing. I'll go through my slide from my laptop. Okay. You can share, no issue. Otherwise, again, the sharing will be issue.
Yeah, no issues. You can share from your side.
No, it will. Hello.
Yeah, tell me.
Just a minute. Okay, wait.
Recording in progress.
Shall I start?
Yeah, please.
Borwal, it is all.
Hello. Mr. Das, you can start with your slides.
Hello.
Yes, Mr. Das. Are you sharing your screen with us?
No, this is weaker. Just give me. So I will start with my this one prospect and potential of spices sector in Northeast India. So next slide, please. That Spices Board constituted in the year of 1987 and under the Spices Board Act 1986. And our main objectives are that export of 52 seedwell spices in any form. And other than this one, that our main mandate crop is this large cardamom, small and large, for production, research, domestic domestic and export of development. So another is the quality evolution control of spices for export. And other than that other 51 spices for production, research, domestic market. This is vested interest to the Department of Agriculture, Union Ministry of Agriculture, and state government and state agriculture university. So other related to work that Spices Board is related to that research, development and regulation of domestic international market of small and large, then post-harvest improvement of all spices, then promotion of organic production, processing of certification of spices, then development of spices in Northeast India, provision of quality evaluation of services, and Spices Board is having that ISO standard quality lab. And in entire India, there are 8 numbers of quality evaluation lab. Then export promotion of all spices through support. Borua. হয় মই মোৰ পৰা শ্বেয়াৰ নহব মানে কি কয় এক্টিভ উইন্ডোজ প্ৰবলেম এটা কৰিলে নেকি আপোনালোকে ৰিজল্ভ নাই কোৱা হয় হয় মোৰ ভয়েসটো শুনা পাইছে নাই তেখেত ওকে 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 ওকে
There is something technical problem. Please wait for a minute.
হেল্ল' বৰুৱা হেল্ল'
So there are some technical problems happening. So just wait for a minute. So they will join and then come back to you.
ওকে ওকে
আমি এটা ধরতে তুমি কি কি খুলতে দেখেন
Soft skill to business planning kinega koribo, kinega coordination koribo, kinega motivate koribo, manoke kinega correspondent communication koribo. How to talk with the people. Soft skill to ito ase. Aro ekta skill to hard skill to ki ase? Kaam to bhal kori janibo lage. For example, apni bakery packing changi ase durile kinega cake bunabo sambak itu ki recipe ki ase kinega ase itu janile bunabo pare apni dvd hotai sabo dikhi ase online di sabo kine apne ase bolebe nijor me ekdom favorite thakibo lage example to ki bunaile ite itu laga. Number one, it was skill to energize it. Number two, to give work, business plan, investment in your group. Key missionary, it was plan guru. Are we to budget? My customer bonus to first customer identified. The reality Puna to sell the work, Puna and the Rakil Novo. It was Avani product identification time there, who will be my customer? That is soft analysis where strength, opportunity, weaknesses, strength. It to chart that of me analyze listen. It will chart that identify Koreana, Avani business plan to Punavale, export to Korea. तो strategy सब पूरी हो गए तो मुझे नाची ये कि जमा हो गया तो मुझे सब तो from the very beginning शुरू करा तो business plan करा वो to be an entrepreneur पूरी बोला तो ऐसे
Thank you so much. Very, very interesting. Mr. Das, we have restart with our technical. I think, can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay, I think, is it possible from your side to share it with the screen? It won't be possible, right?
That what it will be show that my window is not this one, no? That is showing that active window. So I'll do one thing. I'll speak only, no issue.
Yeah, please. I'm so sorry. Some technical challenges we have.
Okay, I'll speak only, no issue.
Thanks. Please, over to you, Mr. Dharmendra Das, Deputy Director.
Hello. Borua, am I audible?
Absolutely, you are audible to us.
Okay.
Please, over to you. Go ahead.
So, sorry for everyone. So, I could not start my session in time. So, I will not take much time also. There is a time bound, that 10 minutes. So, Spices Board established in the year of 1987 under the Spices Board Act. Then, Spices Board is having 52 scheduled spices. Then, out of 52 scheduled spices, that only cardamom only, small and large, that is mandate for Spices Board. And Spices Board, we used to do research, domestic and marketing of domestic and international. And then the major activity is the Spices Board quality evaluation and control of spices for export. Then other than cardamom, that 51 spices, that is research, production, processing, and domestic. That is business interest to Union Ministry of Agriculture, state government, and state agriculture university. Borua, is it clear my voice?
Absolutely, very much clear. We can, but we can't see you. Is it possible to see you?
Yeah. Hello.
Hello, is it possible to see you? We can hear you, but we can't see you.
Okay, okay. So that other than this one, that our main mandate is the post harvest improvement of all spices, then promotion of organic production, processing and certification of spices, development of spices in Northeast India, provision of quality evaluation services, and Spices Board is having that all over India that ISO standard quality evaluation laboratory, that is for quality analysis, and for this quality analysis is for farmers, for poor and marginal farmers. Spices Board used to give free of cost quality analysis, and that other traders, exporters, that is a minimal services. Then export promotion of all spices through support, then technology upgradation, quality upgradation, brand promotion, research, production development. Those are the existing spices industry in the India. So for quality certification and control for export, then registration of exporters, and this is the MSME sector most important. Then if we have seen that scenario of spices exporter from the Northeast, not like the rest of India, then the total around 150 spices exporter that registered in that last block years, and recently around 70 exporters registered from the Northeast. Then we used to give the collection, documentation and trade information, then provision input to the central government for policy matter related to export of spices, then offering trainings for production, bioagent production, etc. Then these are the, we have 52 spices, no need to explain. Then regarding the Indian spices industry, then if we say India is the largest producers, consumer and exporter of spices. Then production of that in India, if we'll see, there are 100 lakh ton of spices produced in India. Then out of that, India could export only 10% of Indian spices. Then that there are 180 destination of spices that the country in the world, then established network of around 7,100 registered spices exporters. Out of that, 640 manufacturer and merchants, 6,460. So that is in India that spices Indian industry, that strong presence in major production, processing and export half of spices in India, including the Northeast. Then if we'll see that strong domestic market, and already I told that in India around 100 lakh metric ton of spices, and out of that 10% could we export. That means that around 90% is used to consume in India. From that only we can realize that there is a strong demand in domestic itself. So even if our entrepreneurs, MSME sector, they would like to start in spices business, so they can do easily in India itself is a good market for. Then that will see the Indian spices export performance. So if we'll see the last year 2020-21, that India has cost that $4 billion. That is a record, and this year already crossed 4 billion. And if we'll see compared to 2019-20, that increased 30% in quantity and 20% in the value. And last year, India could export 15.65 lakh metric ton, and that is value around 27,000 crore. And that if we will see that export scenario, that valuated product in the international market, that increases 51% shares to the total export. Then India is the world topper of export of chili, cumin, mint, turmeric, spices, oils and oil origin, and major destination USA, China, European Union, Middle East, Southeast Asia. And one more thing important is that in the spices market, that fraternity, there are around 5 million growers and traders are engaged in spices trade. Then Indian spices export performance, if we see 1987-88, that is spices board was established until 2020-21. That is an exponential increase. If we see that to 2087-88, that 0.7 lakh metric ton was export and value was 298 crore. And if we see 2020-21, that rupees around 3,000 crore, that is 4.1 billion, and exported 7.59 lakh metric ton. So that is a very good export of spices in international market. So which are the spices export basket from India? That is fresh and dry spices, dehydrated, organic, then spices powder blend, curry powder, masala, pickles, ground, then oil and oil origin. This is a booming market in international, that is in encapsulated or spray dried spices. Then another thing is spices extract, like phytochemicals, nasal flavor, nasal antioxidant, resinate, etc. Then nutraceutical and cosmetics also. Already lot that if we will see that this COVID situation. So spices export is even not decreasing, it is an increasing trend. So this is a good sign for spices market. And if anyone, that entrepreneur would like to start in spices business, so they can easily enter in spices business. In either they can enter in domestic market also, and if they would like to do international market as an exporter, they can join. So that the major spices in if we see then Nagaland, that ginger, turmeric, chili, then black pepper and cardamom. So what are the strength of that Northeast, that spices particularly? I will not say that other thing, that spices grown are organic by default. And if Northeast, if we say commercially cultivated, that is only tea, and next we can say rice. So other than that, particularly that horticultural product and spices, that farmers are doing default organic. Then Northeast is the largest producer of large cardamom in India, and particularly that the largest producer of large cardamom, that Sikkim, Arunachal Pradesh, then Nagaland, then Manipur also. And one more thing is the large cardamom, that in India, Northeast is the monopoly. That is only that rest of Northeast, that Kalimpong and Darjeeling district of West Bengal, they are cultivating that commercially. Then other than Northeast is monopoly in the large cardamom, and large cardamom price is also very good. So now if we say that this year that price was started from 300. So this is one important product for the Northeast, where two way they can, our farmers and our entrepreneur can start. Farmer can start as a plantation, as an entrepreneur, and those are the young entrepreneur. If somebody would like to start that spices business, they can easily enter in large cardamom in trade. So this is one of the important product from the Northeast. Then Lakadang turmeric, the turmeric, not only the Lakadang turmeric, that even that other local indigenous turmerics are available whose curcumin contents are 6 plus or 4.5. So that mega turmeric is growing everywhere in Northeast, whose curcumin content is 4.5, and our farmers can easily take up this that mega turmeric. Then another one is variety that Rajendra Sonia, whose curcumin is 4.5, and if it is 4.5, it is a quite marketable curcumin content. And that Rajendra Sonia is one is plus point is that production is very good. So minimum one farmers can get up to 10 metric ton per hectares, and whereas that mega variety 5 metric ton. So that is a comparison if production is higher in that Rajendra Sonia. Then Northeast is the largest producer of ginger in India, that Nordia ginger. Then if we'll see combined entire Northeast, that 46% of total production of India, Northeast is only contributed. But another thing is that post-harvest part, value addition part, most of the farmers, that out of the total production of ginger, that our farmers are entire quantity used to sell in the fresh form. And this is our drawback, even though we are contributing the 46% of ginger production in India, but value addition and processing is very minimal. So there is a huge and potential for the post-service and the processing and value addition. But good thing is that nowadays new entrepreneur and highly educated guys are coming forward in the spices processing. So Guwahati also and Gulaghat also 2-3 unit has been established for drying of ginger. Then highest pungent chili in India, like Bhut Jolokia, already GI tag received from Nagaland, that is king chili. So this is very good demand in international market, and prices also you can see that minimum price that this year farmers used to get 1500 onward, and maximum price the 2400 in the dry. And fresh chili, everybody know that 150 rupees per kilo. So this is a very good market for that in Northeast, and Northeast is the monopoly in king chili production. Particularly commercial cultivations are taking place by Assam, Nagaland and Manipur. So other state can also start its commercial cultivation of Bhut Jolokia. Then other chili also, bird eye chili. The demand of the bird eye chili and the production of the total bird eye chili in the Northeast, they could not fulfill the total demand. So by considering the demand, so there's a huge demand of the bird eye chili. And we have seen Mizoram, the sum of the pocket farmers are doing, we cannot say in a commercial way, but the number of farmers who are cultivating bird eye chilies are more. So there is a tremendous scope in commercial level of bird eye chili also. Then suitable agroclimatic condition for black pepper cultivation, and black pepper price also you see that very good. This year price is started from the 400 rupees. So this is a very good for the black pepper. Then that entire Northeast, except the top high altitude area, that black pepper can be cultivated. And best quality taste bud is produced from the Northeast only. Then potential source of cinnamon. So cinnamon also important point is there. India, we are importing cinnamon from the other country like Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Vietnam. So the huge demand of the cinnamon in India itself. And cinnamon cassia, which is available in Northeast. So our farmers are yet to start in a commercial level of cultivation. So if state government and spices board will jointly work, particularly cinnamon bharam, that true cinnamon. So there is a huge demand, and that true cinnamon price started from 600, 800 onward, and our cassia is started from the 200 rupees. But thing is that our product value addition part is the very less. So this is the area where we can work. Then available source of pepper lump. Same way, paper long is collected from the forest and used to sell. And this is a good scope for the pepper long cultivation. Then star anise, which is available in Arunachal Pradesh, that can be introduced as an intercrop in the last cardamom. Then possibility of commercial level of cultivation, garlic and mustard. Then prospect of introduction of vanilla in a small scale. So yesterday also I had a discussion with an exporter who is interested to vanilla. They are interested to give training as well as to purchase of vanilla from the northeast state. So these are the few points that which are the important of northeast as well as Nagaland. So Nagaland point of view, that particularly cardamom, ginger, turmeric, chili, black pepper, pepper long, cinnamon, these are the crop that they can start in commercial level of cultivation. So spices board, we are having the last cardamom, all the schemes right from plantation, nursery to marketing, we are supporting to the farmers. Then adult spices, we are supporting the post harvest part, particularly turmeric, we are giving that boiler and polishers, and that organic farming, that organic seed bank. So these are the different schemes we are having for the particularly other than last cardamom post harvest part and export promotion. Then marketing also, that if someone would like to start in the exporter, so they can go through our website, and there is in website that registration process are there. So we are issuing 3 types of certificate, that exporters, then traders, then auctioneer. So I will not take much time. So if somebody would like to any question, then I can reply. So over to Borua.
Thank you so much, Mr. Das. I'm sure we have gained a lot of information from the spice industry, and I'm sure we have got a huge potential in Southeast Asian country because we have got a lot of queries, and you have already covered that area. We have actually have got a lot of opportunities from the Southeast Asian country. Now, moving ahead, I guess, is there any question so we can wind up and proceed ahead? So, may I request from the audience side?
Borua, one question I've seen, that what is the potentiality of spices market in Southeast Asia? So if we'll see, Bangladesh is one of the important markets for us. Nepal is also, then Bhutan is also, they are taking spices. And Bangladesh, particularly the ginger, they are procuring from the northeast.
Right, that's true. I think Narona has received the answer from Mr. Das. Is there any more questions? Can we have either from online delegations or from the offline? Okay, I think with this, thank you so much, Mr. Dharmendra Das, for your detailed description on Spices Pro, on behalf of Spices Pro and Spice Industry. And we really thank you so much for being with us during the all technical glitches. Thank you once again for joining us virtually. Now, moving ahead, I would like to summing up and extend my vote of thanks. I would like to thank Mr. Sashi Bapa, who is Additional Commissioner CPS Dimapur Government of India, for joining us today. Unfortunately, he had to leave because of prior engagement. We also have today we have Mr. P.P.S.N. Bhuti, who is CMD from Medfield. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. If you're online there, we are very grateful that out of your busy schedule you have joined us today. We also have Dr. Yan Muri from PAN, represented as a General Secretary. We would like to extend our thank you to Mr. Tale Launcher. He's a director, a joint director and head of operation from MSME Development Institution, Dimapur, under the Ministry of MSME. We also would like to extend a thank you to Mr. Ravichandra Singh. He is Superintendent from ICD Amita Guwahati. He represents Customs Division from Guwahati. Thank you so much, Mr. Singh, for joining us. We also would like to extend our thank you to Mr. Prithvijit Das. He is Deputy General Manager from SME Department from State Bank of India. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us. I would also like to extend thank you to Mr. Ashish Bhatia, who is Assistant General Manager, City, Guwahati, Assam. Thank you, Mr. Bhatia, for joining us. We are very grateful to all our panelists for joining us today. I would also like to extend gratefulness and, of course, the thank you to Ms. Sunita Rai. She is Assistant General Manager and Regional in charge from APEDA. Thank you so much, Madam, for joining us. We are sure that there will be continuing this collaboration again in coming future with various projects. Thank you once again, Mr. Dharmendra Das, for your valuable time.
Thank you, Varua.
From Spices Board, Regional Office. Thank you once again for your visits. The most importantly, without their basic involvement, I would like to extend my thank you to Ministry of MSME, MSMEDI and Nagaland. On behalf of Indian Chamber of Commerce, we would like to thank you for giving us this opportunity for conducting this kind of a summit that we have started from 27. And we also would like to extend our thank you to Government of Nagaland, Department of Industries and Commerce for helping us, allowing us to connect with all the delegations we have today. And a special thank to media person who has been with us since yesterday. Thank you so much for your presence here, because without your presence, we won't be able to connect with the mass. Thank you so much once again for joining us. And we hope you will be joining us again on 31st, that is in Kohima. We are having a conference on GEM, Government E-Marketplace. So we welcome you once again for this next conference on GEM. Thank you once again. And let's proceed for the lunch. The lunch is on the downstairs. Thank you once again. Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone. Those who have joined also virtually. I would also like to extend my thank you to all the online delegations who have joined us today. And we believe we'll be able to see you soon on physical mode also. Thank you once again. I have a request to kindly move towards the ground floor. We have the restaurant there. The delicious foods are available and waiting for us. Thank you so much. Please join us for a good photograph.
No, video. Video. Screenshot. एक सेकंड दादा दादा अल्प पीछे है बस
Lunch period,